let's start talking about the game that we're reviewing for your Sunday morning download. This game, The Butterfly Sign, published and developed by Quantum Phoenix, a small, I think very small, indie game studio out of the Ukraine. You can pick this game up for $5. I'm sorry, $4.99 on Steam right now if you'd like to. I really think I don't even know where to begin with this game. Monica, let me get your initial impression of when you loaded this game up.
Oh, well, my initial impression was that I said start new game and nothing happened. And so then I tried pressing other buttons on the main menu and it would just kind of glitch and still nothing would happen. So initially I was like, oh, is this one of those games where like before you can even jump into the game, you've got to figure something out? And it really wasn't. It was just not working.
Josh?
So,
initial heads up, new game. What happened?
Hit the new game and instantly crashed. So we hopped back in, made sure everything was good. Then I started going through the menu. I noticed the menu didn't pause the game. But once I actually was in it and I was walking around, I felt like I was in one of the more recent Sherlock Holmes games. I don't know if you've played those, but I could definitely feel like the roaming around, and there was a little bit instantly sort of detectiveness going on. So I felt like I was in Sherlock Holmes. And then once I got the first nibble of the story, I'm not going to go into any detail. We'll get there. But I felt like I was in Assassin's Creed mixed with Sherlock Holmes. So it was like Assassin Sherlock Holmes Creed with no assassinations. But
all right, I think I kind of agree. I'll
stop there.
Like, I had a lot of trouble with the initial menu system. I accidentally exit out of the game because it was so weird. You load up and you choose your difficulties, but they don't really kind of make sense to you at all. And then right from the get-go, you're just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? And not in a good way. Like, there are things that will screw your mind up and be like, yes, what's going on? This is awesome. This game, not so much. But let's start with like the basics. I think the least offending thing about this game, the sound. Monica, how did you feel about the sound?
I felt okay about it. At first I thought it was going to be scary. Because there's a lot of, I guess, atmosphere that's intended to intimidate you and make you feel as though you're in a very creepy place. And it is an asylum, so, in the middle of nowhere. But past that, there would just be sometimes some noise to horrify you. I am a big pansy when it comes to scary games, so I won't lie. For the first 20 minutes, I was petrified until I realized that that's really all that was going to happen, was that I might hear the sound of a crowbar falling on the ground, and that there was no reason to be concerned.
So,
okay.
Josh, let's move on with this.
Right.
How do you feel about the sound in the Butterfly Sign?
So the developer pretty much brags about the sound on the Steam page. And I felt overall it had good atmospheric sound, but it definitely wasn't to the lengths that the developers bragged about it. That's pretty much all I got to say. I had to turn it down. It hurt my ear balls pretty bad. And when I was streaming it for a moment, I had to bump it up so the stream could hear it because it was just way too loud on my side.
Mm-hmm. I will say the sound is just... The only thing I say about the sound is how weird it was when the main character of the story was talking to you like you're reading a novel while you're playing the game. I don't know where else to put this inside of the overall game. It's not gameplay, it's just sound design and what's going on. And it just, I think at one point he tells you about a waterfall that's been there forever and how the time, the sands of time stop for no man. And I'm just like, why are you doing this? And who did the voiceovers for this game?
Yeah, I guess I would I don't consider that so much sound as much as writing. The writing itself was at times bizarre, and then at other times erotic. I mean, the way he described things, I was like, what are you trying to do? He's like, the deep limbs of the tree ached for, oh
Yes.
what is going on? And I didn't
completely
want
agree.
anyone that was watching me play this to know how titillated I was becoming, but it was intense.
The dialogue was definitely questionable, and that was probably one of the worst. Outside of some of the bugs, that was like one of the worst parts of the game. And I don't know if it was lost in translation or what, but the dialogue definitely, it is immersive as they tried to make it. The dialogue kept on throwing me right back into reality.
Absolutely. Let's tackle the graphics next. Oh, what do you got?
There was something else that threw me back into reality, and that was the fact that the way you find out how to do things in the game is plastered in a billboard. And
Oh, well, yeah.
Let's bring up graphics. This is the most stunning use of graphics I've experienced in 2017. Tell me about the billboards, Monica.
I loved the billboards. I loved that I would be in this creepy atmosphere. There's chains jingling, aching tree branches, and then all of a sudden I just come up on a sign that's floating in the middle of the room, and it tells me how to turn and operate a computer.
Yes.
Thank you, sign. I appreciate that. I've never
I
been
appreciate
able to
it.
just click on that computer and figured that out myself. Much appreciated. For people like me that can't get through a single puzzle in any type of game, it is really helpful to have step-by-step instruction. By the way, this does have puzzles in it. I don't think they're that complicated. I didn't have a hard time with the second one, but for some reason, the first one, let's not talk about it.
Graphics wise, the developers brag on their Steam page about graphics as well. It's got excellent graphics, and I could definitely tell they focus on some high resolution textures, but it totally gets ruined by the visual effects. You've got bloom over here, you've got some weird kaleidoscope shit going on behind you, you've got like the dude is nearsighted because he can't see a mountain clearly. It's like blurred out. Like, dude, need some glasses or contacts. So all the effort they put into high resolution textures, which the actual like character models were not that high resolution.
No.
Definitely there was textures here and there that were high resolution. All the effort they put into that was totally thrown out with just the visual effect overload.
Sure.
That they should have pulled back a little bit.
Visual effect overload, and you would also be in a room and it would have no lights in that room.
Super
and there
dumb.
would just be a glare coming off of a ladder
Yeah.
that lit the entire thing up. It made no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my biggest problem with the graphics out of the whole game is that they feel like they were all just purchased off some marketplace. These developers didn't make any texture. They didn't make any model. And because of that, the game felt, when you're going through it, like it just didn't have its own heart. It just felt like you had a kid who just came out of his game development school, knows how to put the game together. It's like, I just need this graphics. Oh, if I put this effect here, they won't notice it's kind of shitty. It definitely does. It's the biggest favor.
Worked. I never noticed it was shitty.
Well, I think their biggest thing they did to themselves is using the Unreal 4 engine, which by itself is beautiful. And all the things you can buy on its marketplace are beautiful. But to me, they felt they were like just stitched together. Because all of a sudden, then you see a security guard where you haven't seen any models yet. He's laying there with a gun in here, and he's like flexing, and then you click on him, and then this huge like glow just comes straight out at you, like you solved a mystery. And then the next thing you know, you're in a basement with a girl, and her shadow's on the wall. And I'm out of order here, but it's just
I don't even know what you're talking about. Actually, like what parts are you talking about? Girl in the basement.
She was in the generator room in the very bottom after you couldn't activate the elevator. Her shadow's just like swinging on the wall.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the shadows.
And then
Yeah, I had a problem with that.
It felt like I've seen this in a game. This is cool. Let me try and grab that and put this in my game. There's no heart to anything that they did graphically in this game. Is my point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to the puzzle games, the puzzles aren't tied into the world when you're solving them. It's a pop-up. Here's a 2-day image. You try and figure the puzzle out, but there's no like.
You gotta fix the circuit.
Yes.
With error, like it's like you're looking at a circuit blueprint instead of looking at the physical circuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not tied into the world. That's my biggest problem. It's beautiful, but not because of anything they really did.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna start in on the story. I've got, besides just talking about the overall story, if you can figure it out, let me know from both of you real quick. When you're offered a drug at the very beginning, did you take it or did you turn it down?
I turned it down.
Okay, straight edge.
I don't do drugs. Okay.
I didn't know what was going on. I don't even remember what I did the first time or the second time.
Correct. Okay.
Josh does
There
drugs.
you go for good story. Yeah, I do.
You gotta take the
We'll
drug.
talk about that later.
If you're offered a drug in life, it's only polite, please. So, what was the story for you, Monica? 'Cause it was a little hard for me to pick up. So, what do you got from it?
Okay, here's my idea of what the story is. You're a man. And
man.
and you spent some time at an asylum. And at this asylum, they're testing a drug, only one drug, on all these people at the asylum. And there's mercenaries, and they hate all the crazy people at this asylum, and they want to kill them. Do that at some point, and you are going back through your memories and piecing together why you're at this asylum and why these mercenaries wanted to kill all the people that were doing drugs. And did I get it?
I think so. You got parts of it.
I have no clue. All I know is I felt like I was in the memory stuff, kind of like Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I really got from it. And some dude killed himself. That's it. That's all I remember.
What was your guys' response though when you're in the asylum and then you find that area and they're like, the mercenaries got in this way? And it's just like, whoa!
Out of nowhere. I thought the
There were
mercenaries. I was
mercs?
game for anything. I was like, I'm high as fuck right now. Yeah, there's mercenaries here.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's true.
You're in a dream sequence from the very beginning. Like Josh said, it's kind of Assassin's Creed like. You're walking through, all of a sudden you find a dead body, and then there's mercenaries who obviously killed the dead body because that's the only one at the asylum. And then later on you start to find out that you're a really extremely rich dude, very, very wealthy, very wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Well, he was missing his loan payments.
Oh.
So I don't know how wealthy he was.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I read
wealthy.
his email.
He was in debt.
Yeah.
at one point he had a lot of money, and then now he can't repay that money. And that's as far as I got. At the very end, you're like at a train and someone killed themselves. You don't know why you're rich, and then the chapter just kind of ends itself, right? Is that where we're at?
Right. And this is a chapter game. So this was just the very first chapter of a series, so that you can continue to find out more about the story. But I think I might have already have it figured out.
Let us know.
I think that he used all of his money to make a music video like Rebecca Black, and it tanked. And he was so distraught over his purchase that he ended up in an asylum where he had to take drugs to like redo his brain, and mercenaries came to kill him because of his really shitty song.
I think you think your song was shitty?
Yes.
I think the mercenaries thought they were coming there for a concert, and then they find everyone's high as fuck. Well, we got guns on
We
us.
get pissed.
Fuck this.
Oh,
You know
all right.
here.
We got pissed.
All right. Fine.
All right.
Touche.
It's a short 2-hour game.
I don't even know if it was 2 hours. I'm pretty sure when I sat down and actually played it, like it was pushing like with the cutscenes included, it was pushing like 45 minutes.
Okay. It's like an hour.
And the only reason why, so you forcibly would walk slower at times for no reason. and I'm pretty sure that was intentional because they were like,
Make
"Damn."
the game longer.
I mean, sure, it's only $4.99 or whatever, but damn.
Damn, girl. I guess I don't think any of us would replay this chapter. When chapter 2 gets released, whenever, are you going to come back and play it?
No.
Josh?
Well, you know what? I will say this. From a group perspective, I wouldn't come back and play it by myself in my room. But we had a lot of fun playing through this game. It was funny. There were a lot of good parts. And I think if you are hanging out with friends or, and you're playing the game together, I think it's pretty fun. I will say that. I think it's fun. But not from the perspective that they wanted it to be, more from like a haha, look at how bad this is.
You want the second chapter for all the wrong reasons.
I want to find out the song lyrics.
Can't wait. Josh?
I think that there's so many bug issues with this one. I'm going to give the second chapter a try just to see if they sort of redeem themselves. But overall, I'm not really driven to. My favorite part of this game, or my only favorite part, the only part I felt was worthy, was the in-game browser. Did you guys actually try to browse the internet on the computers in there? Yeah, I pulled up the stream and stuff. Like you could actively browse the game on there. I'm sure it took up a bunch of resources, but that was the only part I really liked about this game. It wasn't original, and there was just so many bugs and so many game mechanic issues that I don't know. It's going to be interesting if they fix that or if they redeem themselves in chapter 2.
All right. By the way, real quick, Monica, I seen you trying to load up Chatterbait, and you like quickly nope the fuck out of that on your stream. When you're loading up the web browser, you're like, yes, Chatterbait. No, that's a bad idea.
I was like gonna click it, and then I'm like, wait, what am I doing?
Any last words, final opinions on this?
I guess as a whole, your game shouldn't crash. You should be able to adjust. There were so many dark parts in that game where there's the only light source is coming from like a can on the ground. And you can't adjust the lighting in the game. It crashed on me. And I had to restart, and it restarted from the beginning. I think that happened to Josh as well. The story isn't quite there for me in chapter 1, but I also thought it was ridiculous enough that I would be interested in at least streaming it again, just because we had a lot of fun commentary about it.
All right, Josh.
The game intentionally slows you down to get a few extra minutes to make it not seem like you just wasted $4 on 40 minutes of very mediocre gameplay. If you even any more than 40 minutes was probably spent on fixing bugs. It's just way too buggy. I couldn't recommend it until we figure out what happens with chapter 2. But yeah, it's just not there, and they brag about the game way too much on the Steam's page, so they may be too proud to fix their own bugs. I couldn't even adjust my graphics. You would go in and I would turn things down. I was messing around with stuff. I wanted to turn the effects down, and it wouldn't save. So I couldn't even save my graphics changes.
Because they were already so perfect, you don't need to change them.
You don't need to change. You don't need that. So no. Generic, and just I wanted to like it. I can't recommend it.
All right. I think I'm in the same boat with you. I don't want to be too agreeable with everybody, but when I seen that last dead body near the train, I felt that's kind of the player. Like, you just killed it. There's nothing that hooked me for the second chapter. It's like this guy killed himself, and I don't really care why. So I'm right there with you guys. I feel like I paid $5. I got about $250, $250 worth of that $5, and I'm out. I'm done. Quantum Phoenix, why do you do this to us?